Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what would a tarot reader tell your person about you. So this was a requested reading. I think someone requested it a few months ago, so I'm not sure who requested it. If you watch this, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you for the request. So yeah, let's take a look at all your piles and your crystals. So for pile number 1, we have fire agate. And we have the 7 of water. For pile number 2, we have orange calcite. And we have the king of fire. And for pile number 3, we have rose quartz. And we have the 2 of water. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most, and that will be your pile for today. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, always trust your intuition. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this fire agate crystal and the 7 of water, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what would a tarot reader tell your person about you. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. I think there's going to be a mixture of messages first, where I first look at you, what they would say about you, the tarot reader, and then maybe what they would say about your relationship as well. So this can be for a crush, this can be for situationship, this can be for an actual relationship, anything of the sort. So let's get started with your reading. But before I do, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading, because it is directly connected only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99, which is up to $99 in savings. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So let's get started with your reading. So we're going to start off with one card from this oracle deck, the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle, and then we're going to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So spirit guides on my pile number 1. Spirit guides of my pile number 1. What would a tarot reader tell their person, the person on their mind, about pile number 1? What would a tarot reader tell their person about pile 1? Okay, so we have Rose Quartz, Venus, and Empathy, card 14. And at the back of the deck, we have Ammonite with Palace and Trust. Nice, I like that. So, spirit guides of my pile number 1. Spirit guides of my pile number 1. If their person was to go to a tarot reader, what would they tell them about pile 1? We have the 8 of Swords in reverse. I want to cover this. Just give me a moment. I don't like to see those things. Okay, so I guess we have these two cards. We have the 10 of Water, 10 of Cups. That's the 8 of Air in reverse, 8 of Swords in reverse. We have the 6 of Pentacles, the 6 of Earth. What would a tarot reader tell the person about pile number 1? We have Choice. So this tarot deck works a little bit different. It has different card meanings than the average Rider-Waite tarot, and it has different words on it. So we have the 5 of Earth, 5 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Earth, 8 of Pentacles. We have the Youth. Okay, this card I need to cover. It has nudity on it. So we have Integrity. And at the back of the deck, we have the Queen of Air. So what I'm getting here about what the tarot reader would tell your person about you. So what I want to say in this reading, just quick disclaimer, each tarot reader can see something different within us. And the way they read it would depend on their outlook on the energy. So that's what I want to say right off the bat, because I've even had certain people do readings and then they read it in a different way than another person based on their own perception of the person and their energy and the connection. So that's what I want to say right off the bat. If you hear anything that doesn't sound like you, then I want you to discard that and just take that as maybe the reader would read it in the wrong way, or I don't know. That's what I'm getting. That's what I want to say, okay? So what I want to say here is when I closed my eyes, I was seeing a crystal ball. So if your person went to a tarot reader, I see them maybe going to someone more clairvoyant, more going based off what they are seeing with their third eye rather than what the cards are saying. So they may go to someone clairvoyant if they were to go to a reader. And I see them telling your person something about how you would meet if you haven't met if you haven't met them yet, like, how do I put this? Like, let's say your person is going to a reader about meeting someone in love, and let's say they haven't met you yet and they were to get a reading on you, they tell your person how you would meet. And let's say you have already met. Of course, most of you are asking about someone. Then they tell the person how you met in the past. Does that make sense? So I'm seeing an energy here of them talking a lot about your traits and you as a person. And I see them kind of talking about you being protected in some way. So I see the reader maybe saying, oh, pile number 1 is a little bit more protected in their energy. So I see them maybe struggling to get some information on you, if that makes sense. If they're not getting the reading with consent to you, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when someone's energy is protected and you try to do a reading on them, you may get false messages, or you may get messages where it feels like you're trying to pull information out. The best way I can describe it is, you know, when you talk to a person and they give you one-word answers, the messages would kind of come through like that, very vague, because you're so protected. That's what I feel here. I'm also seeing this energy of a tarot reader telling your person that you would be very wholesome, because I'm seeing an image clairvoyantly of 2 hands doing this. So I get that energy of like you being very loving, you being very wholesome here with Rose Quartz and Venus, that you're a very loving person in general. And what's so interesting, when I closed my eyes, I was seeing a shell and a pearl, and we see that here. So that's an interesting synchronicity. They would maybe talk about your sensuality and the type of love you would have together, or the type of love you would share together, as well as the sensuality, like maybe that your person would be very attracted to you, or that you're a very physically attractive person with Venus. Very, and this card, very like good looking to look at in that sense. I see them maybe describing some physical traits you have. I see the tarot reader maybe telling your person like things about the bedroom life. I don't know why I'm picking that up, but like how it would be. I don't know if your person would ask, but I see the tarot reader telling them that. And I see them telling your person about like the love you would share together, and how much love you would give your person, and how just how loving you are as a person, how wholesome you are. I see them maybe talking about, I keep seeing them saying that you're a very attractive person, with where you will share like a lot of sensuality together. Something like that is coming through. I see them maybe talking about you in a way where you would daydream about your person a lot and think about them a lot. I'm getting here, the reader would tell your person about you two laughing together and being very lighthearted and wholesome together. Like, that's what I'm getting intuitively and clairvoyantly. I'm also seeing an image of a cup, right? And someone taking whipped cream and filling the cup up and like putting sprinkles on it. So I think the reader would tell your person that you would really fill their cup, even here we see a cup, with a lot of love, with a lot of wholesome energy, like I said before, and a lot of sweetness. Since we see whipped cream, they tell your person that you're a very sweet person. I also saw a tiara. So, like, I'm getting here, your person would be told, please treat this person with respect. Please treat this person with princess treatment, with prince treatment, king, queen treatment, because they really are going to treat you good with a lot of love. And, you know, please treat them with empathy and love, because I see them treating you that way. So I see them saying that to your person, like, Please treat pile number one with love and respect and empathy, and be there for them. Be there for their emotions, because I see that there's someone that is going to do that for you. So please make sure you reciprocate that. And I see them saying to the reader saying to your person, like, pile number one's very protected in love. So if you were to mess up, or if you were to make the wrong choices here based on the shadow self, then you would be quickly removed from their life. That's what I see the reader saying to your person. Like, I don't see your person doing that per se, but I just see that reader warning your person, because the reader would say that you're very loyal here with the wolf. Wolves are representations of loyalty. The reader would probably tell your person, like, you're the type of person that nurtures and, wants to take care of those around you, because that's what the wolf energy symbolizes, like this person that wants to take care of those around them. Maybe even family orientated energy for some of you, or you wanting children, or pets, or something like that. Something like that's coming through, or just loving your family very dearly. Take it as it resonates. I see the reader maybe also telling your person that you could be younger or older than them, like telling them maybe like about your age, or that you just have a very youthful energy, because I kept seeing smiling, I kept seeing laughing, I kept seeing that type of energy. So the reader could tell your person, like, you two will always laugh together and smile together, as if you're always young at heart, as if you're always bringing in that youthful energy towards them. And even when you're old, you will still have that type of passion in the bedroom. Like, I don't know why I'm picking that up, but I'm picking it up. Um, anyways, yeah, Seven of Cups tells me the reader would tell your person that I'm still getting that same message, not to, like, let's say your person didn't know you, right? And was asking about a future love, right? And let's say this was in the past, for example, and your person hadn't met you yet, but maybe they're asking who they're going to meet in love. And then the reader says to them, if you meet this person, make sure to not be speaking to other people, because this person would see that as disrespectful because they're so loyal. So I see the same message over and over again, like in that sense. But I also see the reader maybe telling your person that maybe in the past you could have spoken to many people, or you could have had your options open, but now you're more so looking to settle down. I'm getting that for some of you. The reader could tell your person you just have a very dreamy energy, and that maybe you're also intuitive, because we see the third eye here. The reader would tell your person to make sure they're putting in a lot of effort towards the connection, to make sure they're giving you and filling your cup up with just as much of love as you are to them, because I see the reader telling your person that you're very generous, that you're very generous with your love, and to make sure it's reciprocal. That's a message I keep seeing over and over again. I see the reader giving your person a lot of advice on the connection, rather than telling them this is what they're like. In some way, shape, or form, with this card, I'm kind of also getting there may be a lack of information or lack of clarity your person gets, because the reader may be vague, or the reader may sometimes project their own things or misread the energy, because your energy is so protected. So I'd say if your person was to get a reading on you, they would have to be very careful on which reader to go to. They would need to make sure they're going to a reader that is reading it accurately, rather than reading it in a negative light or reading it in a way where they're projecting things onto that. Like, let's say the reader has gone through relationship issues in their life, and let's say they're just like having not the best view on love, they could project that onto the reading. So I just say that, like, I guess it would just depend which reader your person would go to, like what information they would get, if that makes sense. I think the reader would tell your person that you've maybe been hurt before, or you've maybe been stuck in certain situations before, but you're now out of that and you're now healing from that. And you're also healing and working on some shadow traits. That's what, or some childhood pain or things that have previously kept you stuck. I see the reader actually giving a lot of advice. Like, I see the reader giving advice to your person to take it slow with you and to really share their emotions with you, to really be generous with you, to really open up to you in that emotional sense and nurture you in that emotional sense and open up their heart to you. And like, if you were to ever cry or be sad or something, to be there for you and be empathetic to you, because maybe that would mean a lot to you. I see the reader maybe mentioning some signs, some zodiac signs of what you could be. I see the reader saying that you're very bold and courageous, very confident in yourself too, or that you're working on that you have a lot of integrity, that you're honest and trustworthy, that your person can trust you. I see the reader also telling your person that you're a dreamer, that you're someone that dreams big, and that you're someone that has more of a bigger heart than most people. Like, not to say, how do I say this? Like, it's not to say that like they'd say pile number one's better than other people, but more so like, if you date pile number one, this would be a better relationship for you than any other person, if that makes sense. I think the reader would tell your person that you would be a key to learning a lot of lessons, but good lessons. Lessons surrounding how to be a better partner, how to make better choices, how to open up your heart and be more generous, how to be more empathetic, those types of things, and how to really work together as a team, I'm getting, and put in effort and devote yourselves to each other. Those would maybe be lessons the reader, I keep saying your reader, the reader would tell your person. I see the reader telling your person that you're someone that likes to speak a lot, that you may speak or text on the phone a lot, or just speak a lot in person and laugh together, that very like youthful energy. I see the reader telling your person that you're an open book and that you're very truthful and honest. And I see the reader also telling your person that you two would just like to communicate a lot, that you two would have some kind of mental connection, and that the connection can grow if you both, devote yourself and put an effort towards the connection. They definitely tell your person that you have gifts, that you're intuitive in some way. And they'd also definitely tell your person that maybe you'd like listening to music, or something about music is coming through. Like, maybe the reader would tell your person certain songs they're hearing, if they have clairaudience, that means something, or that you like music, or your music taste, something about that is coming through, because I'm seeing headphones, or like maybe you sit at a desk and wear headphones, or maybe I'm seeing these specific messages. Maybe that means like the reader would give more specific messages on like you and things like that, if that makes sense. More clairvoyant messages than cards. So now let's look at what the reader would say about the connection. So what would the tarot reader tell their person about their connection? We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Ten of Air. We have the sensual. We have the Three of Fire. We have the King of Air. So what I'm getting is the reader would tell your person, before you date pile number 1, make sure you are both ready to commit and settle down. Like if one of you or both of you still want to have more exploration, more fun, then get that out of the way first before you actually commit to this person. So it's not that your person would be unloyal. That's not what I'm saying at all. Or that you would be unloyal. It's more so this energy of if you or pile number 1 see it a challenge of like you're not ready to settle down and commit yet, then rather stay friends before you create a connection. Otherwise, that will create challenges later on. I don't know why that's coming through, but that's coming through. I see them telling your person like you are a person that's very intuitive. So if they were to make wrong choices, you would know very quickly. I see the reader telling your person like you are a very loyal person and you expect that in return. That's something that keeps coming up within the reading, and that there would be a key to a lot of lessons through the challenges, to understanding each other deeper, to lessons in communication too, and how to communicate better and how to really devote yourselves to each other and be loyal to each other even in moments of challenges. I'm seeing the reader tell your person that you're someone very authentic to yourself, and that they should let you shine your light, that they should let you take up space in that way, that they should accept you as you are. So there's a lot of messages here of like the reader giving your person advice on how to handle the situation with you. I'm not sure why, but that's what I'm getting. I don't know if your person would ask for advice per se, but that's coming through. I see the reader maybe telling your person like there is going to be a lot of love in the connection, and there is a potential of this connection lasting for a really long time and you being loyal to each other and growing together, and this connection really filling up both of your cups. But I don't think the reader would necessarily give any promises on, okay, it's going to last this long, or you're going to get married, or this or this or that. I think the reader would more so say it's a journey, and your choices and how you deal with the connection in the future will lead to what the connection will look like in the future. So I see the reader maybe leaving it a little bit more open-ended in that fact where they say, you know, there is potential of this to last a really long time, but you'd maybe have to build a stable connection first. You'd have to devote yourselves to each other. You'd have to be loyal to each other. You'd have to do all these things for it to last that way. And I see the reader maybe looking at it in a perception of time doesn't necessarily matter. What matters is what you do now. Like, it's a journey. What you do now is going to determine that future. But I see the reader maybe telling your person that there is a potential of a bright future together, and that there is a potential of you two committing to each other in that sense, and having that vision for the future and creating it in the future. But the reader would keep telling your person like advice that communication is going to be important, loyalty is going to be important, devoting yourself is going to be important, and choices too, not just like choices of integrity and like being loyal, but also choices in the connection, like your person needs to make good choices to keep you, if that makes sense in the long run. And your person needs to be generous and loving to you and empathetic towards you. And I see the reader telling your person, like, maybe this isn't the easiest connection. There are some challenges here, but no relationship has no challenges. Does that make sense? Like, no relationship is without challenges. That's what I see the reader saying to your person, and that the challenges are going to transform the both of you to come to this more pure state of life. I was going to say love. Pure state of life. And here with the butterflies, the challenges are going to transform the both of you and change your perception on what love truly is. I see the reader telling your person that you're just very warm, that you'd make them laugh a lot, make them smile a lot, and that it can be a new beginning to blossoming into even more love, if that's what you both want. Anything else? Okay, we have healing. Healing, okay. Anything else? Ooh. We have the Queen of Fire. Yeah, that's your warmth. You being authentic to yourself. You being someone very bold, independent. They tell the reader like a lot about you specifically and advice about you. And that you're someone that is very confident in yourself. Very outgoing. Very connected to your inner child too, and very free-spirited. They tell you that maybe you're healing from something and that your person's also healing. So that healing combined, when you are both in that healing journey, it can create, well, it's not creating certain challenges, but like maybe how you react to each other can. So for example, let's say you get triggered by your person and you react in a way, and they get triggered and then they react. Because you're both healing from something, it can create challenges in that sense. Not that the healing creates challenges, but learning to regulate your emotions for both of you would be important, and learning to communicate those feelings to each other in a healthy way and be there for each other with a counselor will be very important, because the reader would say that you're healing from a lot of big things within your life. So it would be important for your person to hold space for you and to listen, to nurture, to hold you, all those things. The reader would also definitely say after the healing journey progresses, the challenges will become lighter and the challenges will blossom into more intimacy and more of this deeper form of love, like where we're not in the honeymoon phase anymore, but we're in this phase of like a true love where we choose each other, if that makes sense. Like I'm seeing the Lovers card clairvoyantly, and that type of love where it's no longer the honeymoon phase, but it's like an unconditional love. Does that make sense? So this is what I see in your reading. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number twos. If you chose this orange calcite crystal and the King of Fire, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what would a tarot reader tell your person about you. So how they describe you and how the tarot reader would talk about your love life too. So we're first going to look at the cards about you, and then we're going to look at the cards about like what the reader would say about your love life. So we're going to be using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, as well as we're going to get one card from the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. So please be aware this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. But before we get started with your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99, which is up to $99 in savings. Go to trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, let's start out with your tarot cards. So spirit guides of my pile number 2s, spirit guides of my pile number 2s. If that person, the person on their mind, was to go to a tarot reader, what would that tarot reader say about my pile number 2s to their person? We have the 8 of Swords in reverse. I just want to cover this up quickly. For me, I cannot see things like that. It bothers me, like I can't look at that. We have the 3 of Fire, 3 of Wands. We have Heaven and Earth. We have the Father. Interesting. We have Knowledge. We have Desire. What would a tarot reader tell their person about pile 2? We have Union. I want to cover this one too, just in case. Because there's like a bit of union, unity. Maybe the reader would get a little bit tongue-tied. I don't know. All of a sudden, I felt like I couldn't speak. Okay, we have the 2 of Swords. And at the back of the deck, we have Emotion and Intellect. So let's get an oracle card. So we have Aquamarine, Water Element, and Intuition. Card number 8. At the back of the deck, we have Pyrite with Mars and Momentum. So, what I want to say is a quick disclaimer before I start what I said to pile one is what I want to say is like sometimes we can go to a reader and they can read it in a negative light or a more positive light. And two different readers could look at the same situation and see completely different things based on their perspective of love and the world. So that's what I want to say as a quick disclaimer. If you don't agree with something the quote unquote reader says, then don't take it. Okay. So with heaven and earth, I'm really getting the reader would tell your person that the connection you have since union is opposite heaven and earth is sort of like heaven sent. I see them maybe going into a lot of detail about your connection, past lives, using more of their intuition. And with the water element here, I see the reader more so tapping into clairsentient feelings of what the connection feels like and what you feel like energetically. And kind of like I see the reader maybe going into details of soul connections and things like that in your connection, and maybe saying, oh, this is your soulmate, this is your twin flame, this is what, blah, 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 blah. But I see more soulmate, twin flame, not karmic. So I actually see the reader saying, you've come into union with the one, or you've come into union with the person you're meant to be with, or at least the person your guides want you to be with, or something about soulmates, twin flames. Like that's what I'm getting with the union card. I see the reader going into a lot of depth about more intuitive things like past lives you've had together and about how the connection is in terms of the spiritual aspects, like why you're meant to meet each other and the purpose of your connection and how beautiful the connection is in a spiritual lens. So I see more of that energy, and I see this type of energy of the reader more so speaking in symbols, because when I was closing my eyes now, I got a lot of symbols, but I also heard some songs. So the reader may give some messages through songs, or may give some messages through what they feel intuitively, and also reading their cards and reading through their intuition, not just the cards itself. I see the reader maybe also giving certain symbols to your person, and then your person later researching what those symbols mean. Yeah, that's what I'm getting, like the reader talking in intense symbolism or seeing intense symbolism that your person later has to go and research. That's what I'm seeing clairvoyantly. So I heard a song by the internet called Palace Curse, something like that. And there's a part where she says, baby, you make me believe I can fall in love, something like that. I started hearing that. So I feel like this reader would maybe talk in symbols of music and love songs, maybe, or give certain lyrics to love songs they hear. I also heard the song Tyrant by Kali Uchis, where your person would be told, like, don't hurt pile number 2, because this is a beautiful union, and if you turn this beautiful union into something negative, what would happen, spirit? You would go into separation, is what I'm getting, until you've learned the lesson. Like, they would tell your person that, not that your person would do that to you, but I think that would just come through as a warning. Like I said, not that the reader thinks your person would do that, and not that your person would do that, or that the spirit guides think that, but it's just like a warning, because I see your connection being so spiritual and so beautiful that it's like the spirit guides want both of you to make good choices in the connection, and not to make choices that that affect the connection. So what your spirit guides are almost relating it to is, we have a beautiful paradise here on earth, symbolizing your connection. And your connection feels like this beautiful paradise, a union of two souls with so much love, maybe even soulmate, soul tribe, twin flames, something spiritual along those lines. And it's a beautiful union, but if we had to litter in this paradise would eventually turn to hell. So I see it like I'm trying not to make it like weird, but I see it kind of like that, like the reader saying, it is a beautiful connection, but if you mess up this connection, you mess it up. There's no getting that back. So I see the reader more so warning your person, but also warning your person that you should also make a decision. So on both sides. And that you shouldn't hurt each other. Even in moments of anger, even in moments of conflict, you shouldn't hurt each other. Like, you should always make fair and balanced decisions. Because this is, like, I see the reader saying to your person, like, this is the most beautiful union and soul connection you can have right now. So take care of it, make good and wise decisions. Because the reader would say, like, they see a bright future between the two of you, and they see visions of a beautiful love that is so uplifting, but also a beautiful love that feels very deep and very full of emotion and very spiritual too. Like, the reader would tell your person that it's a very spiritual connection. I see the reader telling your person that you desire them a lot, that you really want them in your life, and that you find, I see the reader saying that you find them desirable and that you really desire them, and that something like that, like how much you desire them, how much you want them in your life. I see the reader saying to your person that you may not fully express how much you want them in their life, but you do. I see the reader being a little bit confused at times, because I feel like I'm seeing the information here, but I'm having a hard time describing it. So if the reader were to read this connection, I think they'd have to be more of an advanced reader to read this much of a spiritual connection. Because it's like, I see, it's almost like spirit is putting me in the shoes of the reader, right? And if the reader is not advanced enough, or it doesn't necessarily mean the reader's not good enough, they just need to have been able to do enough readings like this to be able to understand the energy and connect to it, because it's so high vibrational. And then it's like, because the reader is connecting to such a high vibrational spiritual connection, soul connection in some way, they need to use a lot of their intuition and need to trust their intuition in that sense. And if the reader isn't able to read it or see it from a more higher and more like perspective where they're able to connect to what the angels are saying, because I see angels coming through in the reading maybe, then the reading wouldn't necessarily be as truthful or as accurate, where it would maybe like lead your person off, not in a bad way, not in such a harsh way, but I mean, let's say, for example, twin flames. Like, you know how some readers, I'm not saying they can't read twin flames, but sometimes if they haven't experienced it, they maybe won't understand it as much. And then there's maybe certain readers that maybe haven't experienced soulmate connections, or they haven't experienced that type of love, or they haven't seen that type of love in readings before. So then it's new to them and new to their energy, and they don't necessarily know how to describe some things, or maybe they do know what they're seeing, but maybe they don't know how to describe it. or maybe they don't trust their intuition as much. So I'd say something about your person would have to go to a really advanced spiritual reader, if that makes I didn't mean to go so long into that, but yeah. Maybe the reader would explain things for long because, like, I'm going more in depth. Pile number one was like quick, quick, quick. But like here, I'm kind of explaining things more in depthly. So maybe the reader would explain things more in depthly to your person and do a much longer reading than just the average reading. Because, you know, some readers, they will do a shorter reading. Some readers will do longer readings. I see maybe even the reader going over time um, for the reading because they want to explain things properly to your person. I see a lot of the reader talking about past lives, more spiritual things about the connection rather than just the human perspective. And I see your person maybe being like mind blown or baffled by it and feeling like they are just like given so much knowledge about the soul connection. I see the reader saying it's heaven sent. It's like you'll experience heaven on earth in this connection. I see the reader getting thirsty during the reading. I don't know why this is coming up. Can we get more messages about pile 2, please? So I see the reader seeing the Beauty and the Beast rose. And I guess that goes with maybe like you have not been, how do I put this in words? I see the reader explaining that you have learned certain lessons through previous connections where they weren't always the best. Because when I think of the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, he went on a little bit of a journey and he wasn't the most loving or kind at first, in my personal opinion. But then when she got closer to him, she got to uncover his heart. And I'm not saying you are like that, but I'm saying maybe that the reader would say you've been in connections like that where maybe it made you a little bit untrusting of love or made you a little bit not closed off, but a bit discerning of who to let in. Like maybe you're a very passionate person, but you're very discerning of who to let in because you don't want to be stuck in the same situation again. Maybe that you've had previous connections that were more karmic, that had more passion, but maybe taught you something. Does that make sense? I'm also seeing the lotus flower. So the reader would tell your person that you've gone through a lot of intense transformations and you've gained a lot of knowledge from those transformations. And I see the reader more so connecting and tapping into your emotions and how you feel about them and how you feel about the love, which is really sweet. Maybe your person would ask that, or maybe the reader would just go into that. I see the reader more so being an emotional reader, connecting to emotions. Okay, I see the reader telling your person that you're someone really passionate about them, that you feel a lot of love for them, that you feel gratitude for the connection. I see the reader saying that you're a very loyal person. I see the reader talking about soul contracts, the soul contracts you have together and past lives, like I said before. I see the reader talking about your future together and how that will transform and become more beautiful. I see the reader talking about how much you desire and love each other, like the love that's shared. I see the reader talking about you in a way where you're very confident, very much like an uplifting person, being someone very bright and warm like the sun. Like I'm seeing the sun clairvoyantly and the reader describing you as very warm and vibrant like the sun, and that you are going to like make their life more vibrant, your person. I see the reader saying something about a guitar, so maybe that you're creative in some way, or would maybe go into specific details about hobbies you have or about some passions you have, if that makes sense. I see the reader saying to your person that you would buy them things or that you would be very generous in a way where you'd show them your love through something physical. whether it's buying them things or doing little things for them. I see the reader showing them the Hermit card for some reason. So maybe telling them that you've gone through a little bit of an internal journey lately, that you're more of an internal person, but then when you're around people, you're very extroverted. So, like, maybe they'd say you're an ambivert, but then that you're also someone that has gone within your own healing journey and has transformed, even with the butterfly here. And the reason why you two have come into union is because you've both transformed in your own way enough to be able to experience this love and really grow it in a healthy way. I see the reader talking about the sensuality they feel about your connection. I see the reader telling your person like you two will eat a lot together, or like food will be your thing, or you'll cook for them or they'll cook for you or something, or you'll eat dinner a lot together, out together, or something like that. I'm seeing the reader tell your person that you're bright and vibrant like the sun, but then they are going to be like that cooling effect on you. So they would say to your person that you're very vibrant like the sun, very passionate, full of light. You're someone that's a go-getter. You're someone that has a lot of leadership qualities, and you have a lot of fire, a lot of passion to go after the things you want. Like the reader would tell your person that you're very ambitious, you go after your desires, and that you're very smart, you have a lot of knowledge, and that you'd be a partner that would make good decisions and good choices and would be very loyal for them. And like I just see them talking about you being a really good partner to them, or what Spirit is describing as the perfect partner. That's not me saying that, Spirit's describing that. Even if you're not perfect, because we do have duality as humans, we're imperfect, but it's like you're imperfectly perfect, if that makes sense. I see the reader talking about like, yeah, your person having a cooling effect on you, where maybe your person is more like watery or air-like, where they would calm that fire down, but in a good way. So how do I describe this? So it's interesting that Spirit is showing you this. You know, when you have kids and they run around all day, and then you read them a bedtime story, and then they instantly fall asleep because they've been running around all day, but now you're comforting and soothing them by doing that. It's like I see the reader telling your person that they would comfort and soothe you in that sense. Almost like in the day, you're out and about, you're busy, you're doing everything you need to do. And now you've burnt all that energy and that fire. Like you have a lot of energy and fire that when you go home now, your person is soothing you, if that makes sense. I see the reader talking about your light and your shadow attributes, but in a very healthy way, in a very high vibrational way, and more higher perspective, more of a light perspective of it. So what I mean by this is if the reader goes into some shadow attributes you have, like, I don't know why I'm seeing quick temper. I don't know if that's true. The reader would tell your person why that is there, not just say, oh, don't be with them because of this. The reader would say, this is here because they had a childhood like this, and this is how you can work on it. So I see the reader being very truthful, very balanced and fair, and coming from a unbiased perspective. I see the reader maybe talking about you being very nurturing towards your person, being this sort of person that wants to take care of your person and treat them with respect and love. You could be a father or mother that's coming through, and that you're someone with emotional intelligence, even if you're not perfect, like we aren't all perfect with reacting to things, but I see the reader telling your person you have emotional intelligence, where you're intelligent in the mind, but you're also you are connected to your emotions. So I see the reader telling your person that you are connected to your emotions, but you show more of that fiery side of you to the world and show more of that emotional side to your person, if that makes sense. Like that is like more private to you and like for your person. I hope that makes sense. So let's get some cards on like what the reader would say about your connection. So the reader would tell your person that you're an open book, that you're very honest. I'm also seeing the reader talk about like your future and the type of home you'd have together, like if you're already not living together. If you're not living together yet, like that, I see something like that. Or I see the reader talking about the future you'd have together as a couple. Something along those lines. I see the reader saying that you're healing a big thing in your solar plexus, like a something to do with your self-worth. And I see the reader telling your person that they are very healing to you and that the love is very healing, that the love helps both of you grow and gain knowledge, and the love is going to actually heal a lot of wounds within both of you, like to do with self-worth, because you're both going to show each other that you're both worthy of the most beautiful love. So, what would the tarot reader tell their person for pile 2 about their relationship, about love? We have Queen of Water. So yeah, it's like your person would maybe be showing up as more watery or airy. Um, and you more fiery, if that makes sense. Even if that's not your signs, remember we can embody elements, and the elements mean different things. So your person would be told that they are more emotional, more intuitive, more connected to that side of them, more family orientated, because we have the crab here, which always reminds me of Cancer energy. They would tell your person a little bit about their personality traits and how these personality traits have compatibility towards each other and how they work in the long run, because it's like you two sort of balance each other out. We have the Four of Fire. I was getting this, but I wasn't sure. Like, I first wanted confirmation. So the Four of Wands can sometimes represent marriage. So I was getting that earlier, but I just didn't want to just say that unless I got confirmation, because that's a big thing to say. But I think the reader would tell your person that there's a potential of you getting married in the future if that's what you want. We have the Scribe. What I'm getting is you'd learn lots of lessons together, but they'd be good lessons. They'd be the good type of lessons you'd want to learn. That although it's not easy, you two will grow old together, because the crone wants to come out. You two will grow old together. Oh my gosh. So the crone wants to come out and the sage. So the reader would tell your person like you'd grow old together and continue to be loyal to each other, since we have the wolf here, and continue to take care of each other even in old age. So the reader would go on to a late future, even like far into the future. Can't leave that open. Anyways, the reader would also say that you two have a lot of fun together, that you two have that type of connection that is very passionate, and even when you're much older, that passion and strong emotion for each other will still be there. That strong, like, emotional connection. So yeah, I had a hard time kind of describing everything I saw here, but I think it's because Spirit was putting me in the energy of like how the reader would see it and interpret it. But I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number threes. If you chose this rose quartz crystal and the two of water, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how would a tarot reader describe you to your person. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. This can be for a crush, situationship, romantic connection, any person at all on your mind. We're going to be using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot as well as the Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. So before we get into your reading, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to today's sponsorship, Keen. Many of you have asked me recently for personal readings, but unfortunately I'm not available for any right now. So I have brought you the next best thing, Keen. Keen connects you with gifted psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself who are available 24 hours a day. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers each have unique specialties designed to provide a deeper understanding of your situation. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. Getting confirmation or a second opinion from someone who can give you a straightforward answer is always best. And as a tarot reader, I can tell you that it is very hard reading tarot for myself sometimes, as sometimes it doesn't make sense or is unclear. So even I resort to Keen. So let me tell you a little bit about some of my recent experience on Keen. I asked about my love life with my person. She explained to me how devoted he is and that our connection is only getting stronger and better, helping us to build a strong foundation that will only deepen moving into the holidays. She also mentioned us making future plans together no later than February, lol. But we've already started, so I'm very excited to see what unfolds then. She also mentioned that he's very loyal towards the ones he loves and that he doesn't even know what he did to get so lucky to be with me. She mentioned that I changed his world and that he feels like a little kid around me, which is so cute. Lastly, she said that she can see me getting married with him in the future and us having a home together where everyone will always gather together. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was so accurate and on point. Though you can get any type of reading from these readers depending on what you are looking for. I'm so grateful for the reading I got from Keen through their amazing and gifted psychic tarot readers. That's why it's still best to get a personal psychic reading because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 10 minutes for only $1.99, which is up to $99 in savings. Go to trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description to save big on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this beautiful opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic siren tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your reading, let's start out with your tarot cards. So spirit guides of my pile number threes. Spirit guides of my pile number threes. If the person on their mind was to go to a tarot reader, what would that tarot reader say about pile 3? So we have the 10 of air in reverse. Oh, my deck is upside down. It's actually upright. We have the 10 of air upright. Interesting how that happened. I wonder what that means. We have the youth. We have the 10 of fire. We have the 5 of air. We have the ace of earth. We have the king of earth. We have the 7 of earth. And we have thought. At the back of the deck, we have the Father, So, what would a tarot reader say about my pile number threes to their person? So we have two cards that want to come out. We have Lapis Lazuli, third eye chakra and consciousness, card 2. And then we have Moonstone with crown chakra and transcendence, card 1. Interesting. At the back of the deck, we have Pyrite, Mars, and Momentum. So, like pile number 2, I feel the reader would talk about your connection in a way where they'd say it's a very spiritual connection with the third eye chakra and crown chakra. They may even say it is a telepathic connection in some way, or some kind of soulmate or soul tribe connection. They definitely talk about the connection in more of a spiritual lens, and I see the tarot reader talking about you in more of a higher consciousness type of way. So I see maybe your person going to a reader that has maybe been doing these readings for many years, and even if the reader hasn't been doing it for many years, they have learned through past lives and through gaining deep awareness of consciousness. So I see your person maybe going to a reader that is maybe a little bit more developed and aware in order to give the correct messages. And I see this energy of the reader maybe telling your person they need to speak up for themselves more. Not necessarily in terms of your connection, but I see the reader maybe just saying that to them, like that's something they need to learn within this lifetime, that in order to create healthy connections, we need to be able to speak about our emotions and feelings, and we need to be able to speak what's on our mind and set certain boundaries with those around us, and not just to you, but in general. Because I see the reader first, like maybe talking about your person and first looking into their energy and saying, like, I'm almost seeing the Queen of Wands clairvoyantly. That could be your energy or your person's energy, or you could be the King of Earth. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But I see the reader talking about your person's energy and going in depth into that, and giving them like a little bit advice on their life, and like a little bit more intuitive advice on their life first, and then going into the connection and you, if that makes sense. Or maybe reading both of your energies and giving advice on both sides, like both your feelings, both your thoughts, something along those lines is what I see here. I see the reader telling your person that, like I said, it's a very spiritual connection. I see the reader maybe going more in depth and more into their consciousness, and like going more based off clairvoyance rather than cards. They may use cards, but they may go based more off intuition and clairvoyance and something along those lines. I don't know why I'm picking this up, but I see the reader maybe telling your person which chakras are balanced in both of you and which ones need working on. I see this type of energy of the reader almost like giving your person advice for the future on what to do when there is hardships, or what to do when there are challenges, on how to overcome and transcend those challenges, and how to align your thoughts to the experience that allow you to grow within those hardships, within the connection, but also within their own life. So I see the reader more so being like a spiritual teacher to your person on how to grow and how to use this information in a way where they don't need to keep coming back to the same reader for more advice and information, where they can use the information to make the connection grow even more. I see the reader maybe telling your person that they themselves are intuitive and that they need to trust their intuition more. And I see the reader telling your person how much love there is in the connection, firstly, Like, I see them more so talking about the connection rather than you, but like, I do see them mentioning certain traits about you, but I see them more so talking about the connection and like what type of spiritual connection it is, whether it's a soulmate, whether it's this. I see them more so talking about like, okay, I do see them talking about like you a little bit, but then I also see them talking about like your thoughts, your feelings towards them. So maybe your person would ask, like, okay, can you read so and so, pile number 3? And then I see the reader maybe taking 5 minutes to talk about you, taking no, maybe not 5. I see the reader mostly talking about your connection, maybe talking for 20 minutes about your connection and the spiritualness behind it, maybe past lives. That's what I get with these spiritual energies here with the crown chakra and the third eye. More like going into depth, into consciousness, and into the higher realms. And then I see them talking about your thoughts and feelings towards the person and where you would be in the future potentially. So I see it like more so like that. And I see the reader talking about the love being so beautiful and how much deep feelings you have towards each other and how beautiful the love is, how spiritual the love is. I see them talking about like how much love you two share and just how beautiful the connection is. I don't know how else to describe it because I'm just seeing like a lot of love between the two of you in the Two of Cups and a lot of deep emotions felt and shared towards one another. The reader may say that you both feel the same way towards each other and both of you feel deep feelings towards each other. The reader may talk about you thinking about your person as someone they can grow with and as someone they can really have a future with, not just have a relationship with, but have more of a long-term connection and more of that growth with, like where maybe you start out young but grow old together or something along those lines. They may talk about your ages or specific details like that with the youth. If, like, let's say your person went to a reader before they met you, they may talk about that, or even after they met you, they may talk about more specific details like the way that you look, your age, like certain specific details about you and your life. I see the reader going into detail, maybe even about like where you live, like if your person hadn't have met you yet, like what city you live in or something like that. And how you two will meet if you didn't meet yet, if that makes sense. Um, I'm seeing the reader say about you that you're someone really grounded, that you're someone really down to earth, that you're someone really smart and rational, and you have the type of intuition that comes through in a way where you know what to do to grow things in the physical world. I see the reader going into both of your gifts in some way, both of your spiritual gifts in some way, where your person, they would go into depth into their spiritual gifts and it would be more like on the mystical side, whereas yours would come through very much like claircognizance. I think your persons would more so come through like more dreamy or more spiritual, more connected to the spiritual and the emotional side of the gifts, like intuitive gifts. But then I see them maybe describing your gifts as being more cognizant, where you just know what to do, where you know what decisions to make to better your physical life. So I see the reader describing you as more earthy, more grounded, more stable, and bringing stability into their life, your person's life. I see the reader describing you as a person that they can have a long-term stable connection with, that they can grow a connection with, and it will last a really long time because you will really make sure that connection keeps on growing and keeps on growing. And I see the reader maybe giving advice on how to really have what how do I describe this? On how to really treat you and on how to deal with certain challenges if they arise. And you know, if you have differences in the way that you see things, or differences in the way that you are, or opinions, it's like they would give your person advice on how to deal with that. Like, let's say, for example, if you are someone that deals with your emotions in a different way than your person, they would give advice to your person on how to understand you better and how to work with that instead of against that. Because I think the reader would definitely say something like, you two would work together well, where you want to have maybe a relationship where you work together as a team, not against each other, and you learn to set the differences aside and really come closer together and really fill each other's cup up and really nurture the connection so that it continues growing. Because what happens if you don't water a plant? It dies. So I see the reader maybe giving advice like that on how to really devote themselves to you in a way, and how to continue having the connection grow, not just telling the future of the connection, but also how to help the connection grow, advice on that. I see the reader telling your person that you're very loyal. That's come up in all three piles, which is quite interesting. Sorry, pile number 3. I just had to pause to switch on the light because it was getting the sun was starting to set now. But I think the reader would tell your person that you're very devoted to them, how much you care for them, that you're the type of person to really have a long-term connection with, how you're always going to be there for them, always going to be loyal to them, truthful, honest. I see the reader telling your person, even like if you are a father or mother, that's coming through, or like I said, specific details about you and your life, some of them. And I see the reader telling your person that you're someone that needs to be accepted and loved as you are, that you're someone that is trying to be more of your authentic self in the world, and that you need someone that's going to accept you, that's going to love you as you are, and not try to change you, or not try to make you change or make you put on a mask to be accepted or loved, if that makes sense. Because you're someone that is really unique and stands in your individuality, and you need to be that individual self to feel safe in that connection, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm seeing. And if you don't have children, then they may say something like, you two could have children together in the future. So now let's take a look at what they'd say about the connection. So what would the tarot reader say about their connection for pile 3? We have the 3 of air. We have the hero. Oh, I love that. I love that. As soon as I pull this card, I'm hearing that song, I Need a Hero. It's very cute. So what I'm seeing from this 7 of air, let me just get all the cards out. Clarify that. Perception. I'm even hearing a baby next door. We have love. Choice. The Sensual. The 6 of earth. Okay, this card I need to cover. Oof. I hope that didn't show on YouTube. Okay, I want to understand the energy here. Why do we have the 7 of Swords, Spirit? Okay, Spirit is showing me what you're getting rid of. So Oh, we have death, rebirth in the back of the deck. Okay, so I understand now. So I see your your person being told by this reader, either they have gone through negative experience in love where they've had their heart broken and learned really tough lessons in karmic situations before, or you have, where someone was being dishonest or not having integrity or not being the most loyal, and not in this connection, in previous connections. So either you had karmic situations in your previous connections that kept you chained, because I'm really being drawn to these chains here, but taught you a lot of lessons, where the person didn't make good choices and wasn't exactly loyal to you or your person. Past situations, okay? And then I see this connection being much different, where from those karmic situations where you're both helping each other perceive love in a different way, where you're both helping each other rebirth your perception of love and the way you see love. And it's kind of like you're both healing each other and helping each other out in some way, rebirth from your experiences before and heal from your experiences. It's almost like the reader will tell your person the purpose of this connection is heart healing. The purpose of this connection is to almost save each other and give each other a key to a deep healing in a way that will be much quicker than what it would be alone. Because one thing I've learned sometimes is certain soul connections can help us heal more than just the average us being on our own and healing. You know why? Because sometimes that can trigger certain wounds to come up where we didn't even realize we were holding on to that, in love. Do you get what I mean? Like, let's say I have trust issues and those trust issues are being triggered. Those trust issues are only going to be triggered in my connection. They're not going to be triggered when I'm alone. So in my connection, then I start to heal them. Does that make sense? It's just an example, but it's like you're both healing each other's perception of love and helping each other come back to a healthier sense of love where we choose each other, where we commit to each other. This card is all about loyalty, where we commit to each other and where we make good choices together and continuing being generous to each other and continuing to give to each other and devote ourselves to each other and love each other deeply and choose each other even when times are tough, even when emotions are running high, even when there are certain challenges, where I see the reader almost showing your person a different perception of you. Um, and a different perception of the love, where they show a more higher perspective of the love, a more higher consciousness perspective of the love, and sort of give your person keys on how to deal with certain challenges, as I said before, and how to really keep the connection growing strong and healthy even in the future. So I see the reader telling your person that you are very loyal and that you would never hurt them and that you would never do something or make certain choices that would hurt the connection, whether that be lying, cheating, or anything like that. I see the reader saying you're not that type of person and that you're someone they can trust. I see the reader saying, like, this is just someone you should love. This is just someone you should be with, because this person's really going to transform your perspective of love and show you a different kind of healthy love you've never received before. So I see the reader saying that to your person. It's almost like they're going to be your hero, not in a codependent way or a way of like, I'm saving you, because in some way we can't necessarily save someone. They have to do the work on themselves, which I feel your person has. They have been healing themselves because waterfalls represent cleansing and healing. But what I will say is the reader would tell them this connection is bringing some kind of rebirth to both of you and allowing you to create a different chapter and rewrite your story in love and take that key and unlock a new paradigm and unlock a new door full of passion, full of love, full of commitment and loyalty. So this is what I see here in your reading. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!